It was just after dawn when the automatic doors of St. Mary's General Hospital in a small American city swung wide open. The early morning shift had only just begun, and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sharp scent of disinfectant that always lingered in the corridors. Nurse Laura Jennings, a veteran with over 15 years of experience, was stationed at the front desk of the emergency department, reviewing the overnight reports. Her tired eyes skimmed the lines in the nurse's logbook as she sipped her still too hot coffee. Another quiet morning, she thought, unaware that she was about to witness one of the most shocking moments of her entire career. The sound of hurried footsteps snapped Laura out of her routine. She looked up, expecting to see a colleague or maybe an early patient. What she saw stopped her cold. A girl, no older than 12, was walking through the hospital doors. Her chestnut hair was tousled, and her cotton t-shirt and shorts looked hastily thrown on. But what struck Laura most was what the girl was carrying. A small bundle wrapped in a blanket. "Oh my God," Laura breathed, stepping out from behind the desk. "Sweetheart, are you all right?" The girl's wide, frightened eyes met Laura's, but she said nothing. Her arms trembled slightly as she held the bundle close to her chest. "Someone told me to come here," she murmured in a shaky voice. Laura approached cautiously, hands extended in a calming gesture. "It's okay, honey. You're safe here. Can I take a look at what you have there?" With gentle, careful hands, Laura peeled back a corner of the blanket. Her heart skipped a beat. A tiny newborn baby, peacefully asleep, completely unaware of the chaos about to unfold, was tucked inside. "Samantha!" Laura called out to her younger colleague who had just entered the ER. "I need help! Now!" Samantha, a young nurse with only a couple of years on the job, rushed over. Her eyes widened the moment she saw the scene. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Call Dr. Adams," Laura instructed without breaking her focus. "And get a gurney. Fast." As Samantha sprinted down the hall, Laura knelt in front of the girl, doing her best to stay calm despite the flood of questions racing through her mind. "What's your name, sweetie?" she asked softly. The girl blinked as though struggling to process the question. "Anna," she finally said. "My name is Anna." "You're very brave for coming here, Anna," Laura said, maintaining her soothing tone. "Can you tell me what happened?" Anna looked down at the baby in her arms, then back at Laura. Her eyes welled with tears. "I woke up, and he was there," she whispered. "It really hurts." Laura's heart clenched at those words. Years of experience told her that she was facing something deeply serious, perhaps even tragic. But for now, staying calm and supportive was what mattered most. "It's okay, sweetheart. You don't need to explain anything right now. We're going to take care of both of you." Just then, Samantha returned with a gurney, followed by Dr. Jonathan Adams, a composed, middle-aged physician with a stern yet empathetic demeanor. "What have we got?" he asked, quickly assessing the situation. 12-year-old girl, Laura reported professionally. "She came in a few minutes ago holding a newborn. She's in distress and complaining of pain." Dr. Adams nodded and approached Anna, speaking in a firm but gentle voice. "Hi, Anna. I'm Dr. Adams. We're going to take good care of you and the baby, all right? Can you lie down on the gurney for us? We'll take you to a room where you can rest." Anna looked warily at the gurney, clutching the infant tighter. "Are you going to take him away from me?" she asked, voice trembling. Dr. Adams exchanged a quick glance with Laura before replying, "No, Anna. He'll stay with you. We just want to make sure you're both healthy and safe." They gently helped Anna onto the gurney. Laura noticed her wincing in pain with every small movement, confirming her worst fears. As they wheeled her down the hall to an examination room, other staff members began to notice what was happening. Whispers and stunned glances followed them, but the medical team ignored it all, focusing only on their young patient. "Anna?" Laura asked while walking beside the gurney. "Is there anyone we can call for you? Your parents, maybe?" Anna shook her head, her gaze fixed on the baby. "I don't know. I don't want them to be mad at me." Dr. Adams furrowed his brow but kept his tone reassuring. Don't worry about that right now. The most important thing is that you're here. We're going to help you. When they arrived at the examination room, the team moved with practiced efficiency. Samantha began preparing the space while Laura helped Anna get comfortable on the hospital bed. Anna, Dr. Adams began gently, we need to examine the baby. Is it all right if Laura holds him for a little while? Anna hesitated. Her arms tightened protectively around the bundle. Laura stepped closer, her voice calm and reassuring. I'll be right here, sweetheart. You can see everything we're doing. We just want to make sure he's okay. After a long pause, Anna gave a small nod. With great care, Laura lifted the baby from her arms. The newborn stirred slightly but didn't wake up. It's a boy, Laura whispered after a quick look. Looks like he's just a few hours old. Dr. Adams nodded, mentally taking notes. Samantha, get everything ready for a full neonatal exam, he instructed. Then turning to Laura, he added, stay with Anna. I'll ask her a few questions. While Samantha carried the baby over to a nearby table, Dr. Adams approached the bedside. His expression remained kind, though the concern in his eyes was growing. Anna, he said softly, I know this is hard, but I need to ask you some questions so we can help you, okay? Anna nodded again, though her gaze never left the baby now in Samantha's arms. Can you tell me how you got here this morning? Did someone bring you? Anna blinked, as if trying to piece the memory together. I think I walked. It wasn't far. Did anyone tell you to come here? A woman, on the street. She saw me and told me I needed to go to the hospital. Laura and Dr. Adams exchanged glances. The story was becoming increasingly complicated. Anna, Dr. Adams continued gently, do you know how you got this baby? The girl frowned, visibly confused. I just woke up and he was there. It really hurts, she added quietly. Laura's heart shattered. She reached for Anna's hand and held it tightly, offering silent comfort. It's okay, sweetheart, she said. You haven't done anything wrong. We're going to help you. Dr. Adams took a deep breath before proceeding. Anna, I need to examine you now. Is that all right? Anna nodded once more, though fear flickered in her eyes. Laura remained by her side, holding her hand and whispering soft words of encouragement as Dr. Adams began a preliminary exam. The tension in the room was palpable. Samantha, having completed her examination of the newborn, returned to them. Her professional expression masked the worry in her eyes. The baby's stable, she said quietly. We'll need to run more tests, but all vital signs are good. Dr. Adams nodded, his expression even graver as he finished his exam. He stood up and gave the team a meaningful look. Anna, he said softly, we're going to take care of you and the baby. We'll need to run a few more tests, and you may need to stay in the hospital for a while. Do you understand? Anna nodded again, but it was clear she didn't fully grasp the weight of the situation. Can I see the baby again? She asked shyly. Of course, Laura said, motioning to Samantha, who carefully brought the baby back and placed him in Anna's arms. Anna held him close again, visibly comforted by his presence. Dr. Adams leaned in and whispered to Laura, we need to call social services and the police. Also, prep a full trauma team. This one's going to be tough. Laura exhaled heavily, her heart filled with dread. I'll stay with her, she said, looking at Anna, whose face now showed a mix of confusion and tender care as she watched the baby sleep. He's so tiny, Anna whispered. Yes, he is, Laura replied gently. You were very brave to come here, Anna. You're not alone anymore. We're with you. Anna looked up, her tear-filled eyes still holding back the flood. I'm scared, she admitted, barely above a whisper. Laura felt her own heart crack even more. I know, sweetheart, but you're safe now, I promise. As the morning light streamed into the room, filling it with a golden hue, Laura stayed right by Anna's side, holding her hand. She knew the days ahead would be incredibly difficult, but in that moment, her only job was to be the rock for this girl whose world had just been shattered. Outside the hospital room, the hallway buzzed to life. Doctors and nurses passed by quickly, some casting curious glances at the closed door. Rumors were already beginning to circulate, whispers of disbelief and concern about the unusual situation. Dr. Adams returned a short while later, his face tight with tension, though he maintained a composed expression as he entered the room. "Anna," he said, approaching the bed, "we've arranged a private room for you and the baby. Would that be okay? It'll be quieter and more comfortable." Anna looked to Laura for confirmation. The nurse nodded reassuringly with a soft smile. "I'll be with you the whole time, sweetie." They carefully moved Anna and the baby to a private room in the pediatric wing. The space was cheerful, decorated with soft colors and playful murals on the walls, an attempt to make it feel less clinical, less frightening. Once settled, Dr. Adams approached again. "Anna, soon someone will come to talk with you. They're specialists who are here to help. Is that okay with you?" Anna nodded, her eyes full of confusion. "Why is everyone so worried? Did I do something wrong?" she asked with a tremor in her voice. Dr. Adams reached for her hand and gave it a gentle squeeze. "No, Anna, you didn't do anything wrong. Something very serious happened and we need to understand what so we can help you." Just then, a woman entered the room. Her face showed both compassion and professionalism. She walked slowly to Anna's bedside. "Hi, Anna," she said gently. "My name is Ellen. I'm a social worker, and I'm here to make sure you're safe and well taken care of. Would it be okay if I sat down and talked with you for a bit?" Anna nodded, though her eyes remained locked on the sleeping baby in her arms. Ellen took a seat nearby, offering a warm, reassuring smile. "Anna, can you tell me a little about yourself? How old are you?" "I'm 12, Anna answered softly, nervously fingering the edge of the blanket wrapped around the baby. "Okay," Ellen nodded. "Do you live with your parents?" Anna lowered her head, her voice barely audible. "With my mom and my stepdad." Dr. Adams and Laura exchanged quick, discreet glances but kept their expressions neutral. "Do you know where they are now?" Ellen asked gently. Anna lowered her head further, tears filling her eyes. "I don't want them to come here. They'll be really mad." Ellen leaned in slightly, her voice even softer and filled with understanding. "Anna, no one here is mad at you. We're all very concerned and just want to help. Can you tell me why you think they'd be upset?" The girl was quiet for a moment, her gaze drifting back to the baby. When she finally spoke, her voice was a faint whisper. "Because I brought the baby here. It was a secret." The silence that followed was heavy, full of thoughts that no one wanted to voice. Sensing the weight of the moment, Laura gently interrupted. "Anna, sweetheart, are you hungry? Would you like something to eat?" Anna slowly nodded, as if grateful for the change of subject. "I really would." As Laura stepped out to get food, Dr. Adams leaned closer to Ellen and whispered, "We need to do a full set of medical tests for both Anna and the baby, and contact the authorities." Ellen nodded solemnly. "Absolutely. Let's begin the necessary steps. For now, we just need to keep Anna calm and make sure she feels safe." Dr. Adams turned his attention back to Anna, who was still watching the baby with a mix of curiosity and quiet anxiety. "Anna," he said softly, "we need to do a few tests to make sure you and the baby are healthy. Would it be okay if we invited a few specialists to examine you?" Anna looked up at him, tension still clearly visible in her small frame. "Will it hurt?" "We'll do everything we can so it doesn't," Dr. Adams assured her kindly. "Laura or I will stay with you the whole time if you'd like." At that moment, Laura returned with a tray. The smell of warm soup and fresh bread filled the room, bringing a moment of normalcy. "Look what I brought you, Anna," Laura said with a warm smile. Some food. Why don't you try the soup while we talk? Anna nodded and slowly began to eat, allowing Laura to carefully take the baby so she could have both hands free. As Anna ate, Ellen continued to ask her questions, softly, gently, trying not to overwhelm her. Anna, how did you feel when you first saw the baby? Ellen asked. Anna paused, setting her spoon down as she looked toward the newborn, who now rested in Laura's arms. I was scared, she admitted. I didn't know what to do, but he was so cute. Ellen nodded in understanding. It's okay to feel scared in a situation like that, but you did the right thing by coming to the hospital. Anna nodded again, her voice barely above a whisper. What happens now? Will they send me home? Dr. Adams spoke up, his voice calm and steady. For now, Anna, you'll stay here in the hospital. We need to make sure you're healthy before we decide what happens next. Anna nodded, though the uncertainty clearly troubled her. Laura, noticing her anxiety, gently changed the subject. Anna, have you thought about what you might name the baby? The question took Anna by surprise. She stared at Laura for a moment, then asked quietly, Can I name him? Of course you can, Laura replied with a gentle smile. Do you have a name in mind? Anna thought for a few seconds, her face softening a little. Nate. I like the name Nate. Ellen smiled warmly. That's a beautiful name. I think he'll like it too. As the conversation continued, Dr. Adams quietly stepped out of the room, where he was met by Dr. Charles Sokol, the head of pediatrics. His face was drawn and tense, concern etched deeply in every line. What's going on? Dr. Sokol asked in a hushed tone. Dr. Adams let out a heavy sigh. It's much worse than we thought. The girl is 12, and the baby is a newborn. This is a clear case of child abuse. Dr. Sokol closed his eyes for a moment, absorbing the full gravity of the situation. God, have you contacted the authorities? The social worker is handling it. We're going to need a specialized team, forensic staff, child psychologists, everything. You'll get what you need, Dr. Sokol replied firmly. This case is now a priority. Back in the hospital room, Anna had finished eating and was holding little Nate again. Laura sat beside her, watching the girl stroke the baby's cheek with gentle wonder and sadness. He's so small, Anna said softly. Yes, he is, Laura replied with a gentle smile. But he'll grow fast. Babies always do. Anna frowned, worry clouding her expression. What will happen to him? Will he stay with me? Ellen, who had been listening carefully, spoke with caution. Anna, first we need to make sure both of you are safe and healthy. That's the most important thing right now. We'll do everything we can to make sure both of you get the best care possible. Anna nodded slowly, though her concern was still evident. Laura, seeing her growing anxiety, gently changed the topic again. Anna, would you like to read something together? We have lots of books here at the hospital, fun ones too. Anna's eyes lit up slightly at the idea. Could we read something? Laura smiled gratefully for the chance to bring a little normalcy to the moment. Of course, sweetheart. Give me a minute and I'll find something nice. As Laura left the room to look for a book, Dr. Adams re-entered. His expression remained serious, but compassion filled his eyes as he approached Anna's bed. Anna, he said quietly, soon we'll need to run some medical tests. But before that, is there anything we could do to help you feel more comfortable? Anna thought for a moment and then whispered, Could I have a stuffed animal for Nate? Dr. Adams felt his chest tighten at the innocence of her request. Absolutely, Anna. I'll make sure Nate gets a stuffed animal. As the day went on, the hospital filled with a sense of organized urgency. Specialists arrived, pediatricians, psychologists, social workers, and the police discreetly made their way into the building to begin gathering statements and piecing together what had happened. Back in the pediatric room, Anna listened closely as Laura read a book about guardian angels. Little Nate slept peacefully in his bassinet, and the newly gifted teddy bear stood nearby on the nightstand, as if silently watching over him. Despite the calm inside the room, all the adults knew this was just the beginning. In the coming hours and days, they would face unthinkable challenges and complex decisions. As the sun began to set, casting a soft golden light across the hospital room, Laura glanced over at Anna, who had finally dozed off, exhausted from the events of the day. The nurse let out a quiet breath, mentally preparing herself for the difficult road ahead. She knew this case would leave a mark on everyone involved, but for now, her mission was to ensure that Anna felt safe and protected. Outside the room, Dr. Adams waited in the hallway. His face showed signs of fatigue, but his eyes still radiated determination and care. "How are they?" he asked quietly. "They're asleep," Laura replied with a tired smile. It was a long day for both of them, but today was a good day for Anna. All the love and support helped her relax, at least a little. Dr. Adams nodded, his eyes briefly flicking toward the closed door. "Tomorrow will be another tough one. We're still trying to reach her mother, but there's been no luck yet. As for the stepfather, he was caught trying to cross the border. He's in custody now. We're in for a long legal process." Laura let out a heavy sigh. Her shoulders slumped slightly under the weight of the past few days. "She shouldn't have to go through this alone," she said softly. "She's still just a child, and that baby. They both deserve peace and protection." "I agree, Doctor," Adams replied, his voice firm. "But we'll walk this path with her. She won't go through it alone." They stood in silence for a moment, watching the soft light spill from the slightly open door of Anna's room. The day was drawing to a close, and a feeling of quiet relief settled over the corridor, however temporary it might be. The next morning, the hospital buzzed with a calm energy. Laura, now back on the day shift, entered the room to check in on Anna and Nate. Anna was already awake, feeding Nate while humming a lullaby. The baby quietly drank from the bottle, his tiny hands gripping it as best he could. "Good morning, sweetheart," Laura greeted her with a smile. "How was your night?" Anna smiled faintly, eyes on Nate. "We slept well," she said softly. "He didn't cry much at all." "That's wonderful," Laura replied, genuinely relieved to see her a little more at ease. A few moments later, Ellen and Dr. Kuznetsova, the child psychologist, entered the room. They brought with them some important updates and plans for the day. "Good morning, Anna," Ellen said kindly. "Today we'll continue talking a bit more, and there are some people who would like to help you." Anna, still nervous, nodded. She had grown more accustomed to the attention over the past few days, but the anxiety hadn't completely faded. Dr. Kuznetsova sat beside the bed and took Anna's hand gently. "Anna, we know how much it means to you to stay with Nate. Today, we'd like to talk about how we can help both of you going forward. There's also a family that would like to meet you. They've offered to give you and Nate a place to live if you agree." Anna looked at her wide-eyed. "A family?" she asked softly. "But will Nate and I stay together?" The psychologist gently squeezed her hand. "We'll do everything we can to keep you both together. But you're still a child, and you need time to heal. We want to find a place where you can feel safe, go to school, and continue to grow, and where Nate can be cared for too." Anna stared down at Nate, who was now dozing off in her arms. Her fingers gently brushed his cheek. "I don't want us to be separated," she whispered, fear rising in her voice. Ellen stepped in gently. "We understand, Anna, and we'll do everything in our power to keep you and Nate together. Today, the family that wants to help is coming to meet you. If you feel comfortable, we can all talk and see how you feel about the idea." Anna nodded, still visibly uneasy. Later that day, a woman in her early 50s named Mary Parker arrived at the hospital. She had kind eyes, a kind smile, and spoke with a calm voice that immediately made people feel at ease. Laura and Dr. Adams brought her into Anna's room. "Hi, Anna," Mary said as she sat down beside the bed. "I've heard about you and your little boy. My husband and I would really love to help you. We have a big house and we'd like to invite you both to stay with us for a while, if that's something you'd feel okay about." Anna looked at her cautiously. "Will we be able to stay together?" she asked quietly. "Of course, sweetie," Mary replied warmly. "We want you and Nate to feel at home. We have a garden and lots of toys. We'll take care of both of you." Anna hesitated, then gave a tiny nod. "Okay," she whispered, "but please don't separate us." Mary shook her head. "No, sweetheart, I promise. We'll be right there with you both." Anna relaxed a little. She still had a long road ahead of her, but the thought of staying with Nate in a safe place gave her a glimmer of comfort. After Mary left, Dr. Adams returned to speak with Anna. "You're very brave," he said quietly. "We'll keep taking care of you, and I promise, we'll make sure everything turns out okay." Anna nodded again, silently. Her thoughts were full of worry for what lay ahead. As the day progressed, more people arrived at the hospital: social workers, legal representatives, and medical specialists. All of them were working together to ensure that Anna and her baby Nate would have a safe and stable future. Dr. Adams, Laura, and Ellen stayed close to Anna, walking her through every step, carefully explaining that everything being done was to protect her and help her recover. The following day, a meeting was scheduled at the hospital to make a final decision regarding Anna and Nate's future. Anna was invited to attend, along with Mary Parker, several social workers, and Dr. Adams, who insisted that the hospital's psychologists be present to support Anna through the process. When the time came, Anna looked nervous, but she sat quietly, trying to stay calm. She knew how important this meeting was, not just for her, but for Nate too. Ellen sat beside her and gently squeezed her hand. "It's going to be okay," she whispered. "You've already been through so much, and things will change, but we're here to help you." During the meeting, everyone worked hard to explain to Anna that Mary and her family were willing to offer her and Nate a temporary home where they could live together while Anna received the care and support she needed. Social services assured Anna that they would continue monitoring her case, provide therapy and counseling, and help her return to school when she was ready. Anna listened intently, her expression tense but focused. After a moment, she quietly nodded. "I just want us to stay together," she said softly, glancing down at her baby in her arms. Mary, seated across from her, gently leaned forward and said, "Anna, I promise you, we will take care of you both. You and Nate belong together, and we'll do everything to help you stay that way." With the decision made, the team began preparing for Anna and Nate's move into Mary Parker's home. Doctors and social workers ensured the transition would be smooth and fully supported. Laura remained by Anna's side the entire time, helping her pack the few belongings they had collected and offering words of encouragement. "You're going to do great, sweetheart," Laura said as she hugged her tightly before the move. "You're a strong, amazing girl, and we're all so proud of you." Anna nodded, tears in her eyes, but holding herself together. She hugged Laura back, clinging to her with all the strength she had. And so, Anna and baby Nate left the hospital and moved into Mary Parker's home. There, a new chapter began, a chance to heal, to grow, and to rediscover what safety and love really meant. Nate received the care and affection he so desperately needed, and Anna began the long, fragile journey of rebuilding her life. There were still challenges ahead, of course, but Anna was no longer alone. She had support, she had love, and she had people who were ready to fight for her and for her baby's future. Anna and Nate's story was far from over, but for the first time there was hope. After her conversation with Mary Parker, Anna felt a sense of relief, though the tension in her chest hadn't completely left. Fear still lived deep within her, but so did the hope that things might finally get better. She understood now that there was a long road ahead, but the thought of staying with Nate, of raising him in a safe and loving place, gave her the strength to take her first real steps forward. As her discharge date approached, more people visited her room. Nurses came by with small gifts, diapers, baby clothes, toys. A therapist brought children's books for Anna to read to Nate. Even the hospital custodial staff stopped in one by one with kind words and handmade drawings from their own children to decorate the room. Dr. Adams watched it all unfold with quiet admiration. The entire hospital had come together for this girl and her child. Staff from every department had been moved by her story, and now they were doing what they could to ease her transition into a new life. By the time the final day came, Anna's hospital room no longer looked sterile and white. It had transformed into a space full of color, warmth, and above all, love. Photos, toys, flowers, and handwritten cards covered every surface. Laura arrived early that morning to help Anna get ready. She brought a small bundle in her arms. "Anna," she said with a smile, "I brought something for you." Anna looked up curiously. "For me?" Laura nodded and handed her a small gift wrapped in soft fabric. Anna untied the ribbon carefully and opened it. Inside was a photo album. "I thought you might like to start capturing memories with Nate," Laura explained. "I've already added a few pictures from the past few days, but there's plenty of space for the two of you to add more." Anna flipped through the pages. Her eyes filled with tears as she saw photos of her feeding Nate, holding him, smiling down at him with all the quiet love she carried. "Thank you," she whispered, hugging the album to her chest. "It's so beautiful." That small gesture opened the door to more kindness. Over the next hour, nurses came in with even more gifts: bottles, baby blankets, and even a small diaper bag. Someone brought a warm blanket. Another gave her a journal. Every person seemed to want to show that Anna and Nate mattered. As the time to leave arrived, Laura gave Anna one last, long hug. "You're going to be okay, sweetheart," she said softly. "You've been through more than most adults could ever handle. But you kept going, and now you've got a new beginning." Anna nodded. Her eyes were full, but her grip on Nate was steady. She was still scared, but she was also ready. Together with social workers, she walked out of St. Mary's General Hospital and into Mary Parker's car. Her new home was waiting. There, she would have time to recover, to grow, to find her voice. Nate would grow too, surrounded by care, security, and a mother who, despite everything, had never stopped trying to protect him. And although the road ahead would still be hard, they no longer had to face it alone. They had each other. They had a future, and for the first time in a long time, they had hope. Thank you for listening to the story until the very end. If this story moved you, consider sharing it with friends or family. Your support helps us keep bringing powerful stories to life. Don't miss the next story. We'll be back soon with another emotional journey. Until then, take care.